Hey everyone, today we're covering how to talk to cash buyers for your wholesale deals. And today I'm here with a special guest, Tim. Tim's actually an employee at one of our companies who's starting to learn wholesaling. And so one of the topics is how the heck do you talk to cash buyers? And so what we're going to cover today is exactly that. And we have an awesome meaty resource on how to talk to cash buyers, which you can download in the description. It's our entire script we've been using and honing for over 12 years on how to talk to cash buyers and get them ecstatic to pay you over $10,000 per wholesale deal. You can get that at realstateskills.com/cashbuyerscript. And so we're going to dive into the script, dive into the questions that you have about cash buyers. And then at the end, we'll do a mock call. I'll pretend I'm a cash buyer and you can run through our script. Sound
awesome.
Good?
Yeah, it sounds really good. Thank you so much for having me back, as always. Cash buyers, probably the most intimidating thing about wholesaling. As a beginner, for sure. I know there are others like me out there who just kind of have this overlying fear of talking to some professional without having too much experience in the real estate space. Obviously, cash buyers are kind of the bread and butter for wholesale deals. Those are the people I'm going to be bringing deals to. So just for my clarification and understanding, what exactly is a cash buyer?
Yeah, when wholesaling real estate, a cash buyer it can be a person, a single person that's running a fix and flip company that's flipping houses and contracts out work and is maybe flipping a house or two or three, maybe more every single month. It can also be a whole entire company, like a house flipping company, right? I've worked with many companies that have 10, 20, 30 people in there, and they're a big operation, maybe in one county, maybe a whole state, maybe multiple states. But what's important, why we call them a cash buyer, is they can buy your wholesale deals for all cash in some capacity. They may have all cash on hand to buy these deals. They may have relationships with hard money lenders and private money lenders to buy these properties all cash. But they're integral to work with as a wholesaler, because when we're wholesaling houses to someone, we are sending offer terms on a property that are very advantageous and are very desirable for someone who's looking to sell their property, who's a motivated seller. A lot of the times they need a quick close. And so a quick close could mean 3 days, 7 days, 14 days. And you know what? You can't get a conventional mortgage in that time frame. So you have to have access to cash, right? That's why it's so important, right? You know, if anyone could buy a property or if a normal home buyer could buy a property in 7 days, they'd have way more of an advantage. They'd be able to compete with investor offers, but they can't. So cash buyers are also typically our favorite cash buyers we like to work with. They're fix and flippers. So they're literally buying houses that are distressed, that need fixing up, renovating it, and then reselling it. But a cash buyer could be a mom and pop investor buying a one property a year as a rental property. But typically when we're wholesaling, I don't like doing one wholesale deal a year. I want to do as many as possible. I want to do 5 wholesale deals a month, 10 wholesale deals a month. And for you to do that type of volume, instead of having 5 to 10 different cash buyers, it's better to have a small handful that are serious fix and flippers, flipping multiple houses per month, buying multiple houses per month. That way you don't need to have communication with 10 different people. You could be working with maybe 1 or 2 fix and flippers that are cash buyers, and it makes your life a lot easier.
Right.
Yeah.
So the general concept when you're wholesaling is you find a property that's an opportunity for fix and flip, like you said. You bring that to the table of the cash buyer. They then show interest, and hopefully they purchase the contract and then can flip it afterwards. The wholesaler being the middleman in that. And why wouldn't a cash buyer, I guess, just go after the properties themselves?
Yeah.
Like, why do they even need me to do it? And that's kind of like a weird, hurdle that I come across, where it's like, if they can just do it themselves, why would they need like a beginner wholesaler? Why would they need me to find the properties for them?
Yeah, good question. I've heard this over 1,000 times in the last 12 years. So how many hours do you have in a week? Do you know?
Oof,
168 hours.
Yeah.
Everyone has 168 hours. So one of the biggest reasons why a fix and flipper, a cash buyer, doesn't go after every single property that's on or off the market is they have limited time. They're also running a company. They're hiring people. They're firing people. They're managing renovations. They don't have all the time in the world to find deals. There's more than enough deals out there. There's hundreds of thousands of active properties on the market right now. It'd be silly to say that one cash buyer can get those all under contract. And, if they could, then, they'd be doing amazingly well. But they can't. There's opportunity out there for everyone. So one of the reasons is time. They have a lot on their plate. Like any CEO of a company, do they only focus on acquiring what they're looking for? No, they do a lot of other things. So you're able to provide a service. You put a deal under contract for a cash buyer. Once you put a deal under contract for a cash buyer as a wholesaler, all they have to do is sign the dotted line. That's how easy you make it for them. Do you know how much it would cost a typical cash buyer, how much it would cost them in marketing to get to that point, to have a deal under contract?
I imagine thousands. Thousands, yeah.
In marketing, that costs $5,000 to $10,000 to get that signed contract without them even closing on it. So you're providing a service. When you have this contract, it's under contract. You have the rights to buy it. You can assign it. That's $5,000 to $10,000 of marketing spend that a cash buyer would have had to pay that you've done the legwork for.
Right.
And they didn't need to hire an employee for you to get this deal under contract because they have employees finding deals for them too. But guess what? They fire employees. Not all employees are great. So when you can get a deal under contract for someone, the opportunities are out there, right? You said, hey, why won't a cash buyer just put these deals under contract for themselves? So they do put deals under contract for themselves, but there's no way in heck that they can put every single deal under contract for themselves. It's impossible.
Yeah.
So it's time, resources, and money.
Yeah. I'm basically being paid like as their outsourced to find it for them. And I imagine that the wholesale fee that they pay me is like, insignificant to how much money they make after they flip it. So they're more than happy to kind of work with me,
Yeah. So maybe the deeper part of that question too is like, why would they pay me? If you're saying like, why don't they put all the deals under contract? Well, if they're going to pay you $10,000 for a deal, they're probably making $30,000 net profit at the end of 3, 4, 5 months flipping that house. So they're spending $10,000 to make $30,000. That's a 3-to-1 return on your money. That's not bad when you look at it. If they're doing that in marketing, they're ecstatic. They're jumping for joy. So if they're looking from a marketing standpoint, they're making money, right? They're turning $10,000 into $30,000 of profit.
So in our previous videos, we've always discussed step 1 being to find 3 to 5 local cash buyers. I found that I already made a mistake where I was looking at a property first before even finding a cash buyer myself. So why do you recommend that is always the first step when we talk about how to wholesale?
Yeah, well, don't worry. You and 99% of people make that mistake. So it's all good. Yeah. You're in a large group. Here's an example, right? So pretend you have a convenience store and a customer comes in and says, hey, I want a $2 water bottle. And then you go to the shelf and you say, awesome, here's a $40 bottle of wine. They're going to be like, what the heck? I don't want that.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is you talk to cash buyers first. If you imagine they're your customer, you can ask them what they want and then bring them exactly what they want. They want a $2 water bottle, aka a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot house under $500,000. You don't know that unless you ask them.
Right.
So instead of bringing them something off the shelf that they do not want, that they'll say, hey, is something wrong with you because I'm telling you what I want and you're bringing me something different. The point that I'm making is when we find 3 to 5 cash buyers first, they literally are customers. They are paying us money for a product, for a contract that we bring to them. You have to understand what they want so you can bring them what they want. Otherwise, you are guessing. In real estate, it's our goal to do everything in our power and do a lot of the little things right to have a successful transaction at the end. So when we talk to cash buyers first, when we understand what they want, when we understand their buying criteria, where they like to buy, what types of properties they like to buy, what price points they like to buy in, what zip codes they like to buy in, what zip codes they don't like to buy in, now we can bring them the exact properties that they want.
Right.
Now it's a hand-in-glove fit. I think people have this assumption that when you're wholesaling real estate, that every cash buyer is created equal, that they all want the same exact thing. Let me tell you, there's wide ranges of cash buyers. There's some that in San Diego only want property that's zoned for multifamily and that are going to build ADUs, accessory dwelling units, in the backyards. And they don't want to flip a 3-bed, 2-bath house. They want to build additional units on the property, 12, 14 units. So, and that's their specific criteria. Mm-hmm. So if you thought that, oh, they want the $2 million home in Rancho Santa Fe, and you bring that to them, and now you're like, oh, and they say, hey, I don't want that, and now you're confused because you just assumed that, took this blanket approach, every cash buyer is the same, you're not going to have a successful business, you're not going to be wholesaling property, and you're going to look pretty unprofessional, right. And you're going to look pretty silly. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people skip this step. In my opinion, why do they do this? Because they're so excited to get a deal. They're literally not thinking a few moves ahead. Mm-hmm. And some of the wisest people in business build businesses to sell, or they think with the end in mind. So when we find cash buyers first, we think with the end in mind. Who is my end buyer of this deal? We find them exactly what they want. Additionally, you said, hey, why 3 to 5? Well, number one, that's an appropriate range. All you need is 3 to 5 cash buyers. They could buy a majority of your wholesale deals and pay you over 6 figures a year, mm-hmm. right? I've seen it done. Happens to us all the time. A lot of people think that, I need to go to Fiverr.com and get a list of cash buyers, emails of 1,000 cash buyers, and this solves all my problems. I'll pay $5 for this, and let me shoot an email blast to them on this deal. And they think quantity is better than quality. It's not, my friend.
Yeah.
It's not. Those 1,000 cash buyers, you buy a random list. They're not local experts in your area. They don't know what are bad streets, what are good streets. And so when you focus on 3 to 5, what that allows you to do is have a number one cash buyer, like a plan A, but what they want to go on vacation. Well, let's say you find 3. Then you got plan B. Let's say, hey, they're busy. They have too many projects going on. Guess what? Plan C, your third cash buyer. So when we focus on 3 to 5, what allows us to do when we're starting out wholesaling real estate is it puts a limit and deadline on the amount of cash buyers you need to find, and then understand their buying criteria on what they want, and then you can go find those deals.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, a lot of people just keep finding cash buyers, and guess what? 12 months go by, they're twiddling their thumbs, and they're wondering, why the heck haven't I made any money? And it's because they haven't been submitting any offers, they haven't been making any phone calls, mm-hmm. they haven't been closing any deals.
Yeah.
Because they just had this endless loop of trying to find cash buyers.
Right.
So it's 3 to 5, and then we always say local in your area, right? If we're in San Diego County, having a cash buyer in Greenville, South Carolina ain't going to help me. They're not buying in San Diego County. So local to your area, they can get out to the property same day in 1 hour. Serious fix and flippers will drive out to the property mm-hmm. and tell you yes or no whether they can close the deal. Mm-hmm. And then quality, what do I mean by that? Communication, right? Do they actually like you, right? Have you developed a relationship with them where you're on a talking basis, on a first name basis with this person? Because I've had many individual cash buyers pay me over 6 figures in a year. Mm-hmm. I know them on a first name basis. I'm friends with them. We've got coffee, we've got dinner, we exchange gifts during holidays, we exchange gifts on birthdays, been invited to kids' birthdays. Do you think they just pay 6 figures a year to random people they don't know, that they don't trust? No. So you got to build quality relationships with these people too and treat them like human beings. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are getting into wholesaling real estate, thinking that they want to get into wholesale real estate, don't have any business sense whatsoever, don't know how to build a relationship with another person in business, don't know how to build rapport, don't know how to think about the relationships, be relationship focused, be long-term focused as opposed to transaction focused.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. And what you're going to find is in any industry, there's going to be people that are going to try and cut corners. There's going to be people that are going to stab you in the back. And I don't work with those people. You know what? And so what we have to do is find the good people that we want to work with. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing about being a wholesaler and real estate investor is you're an entrepreneur. You can choose who you want to work with. Right. That's why I do what I do. I don't work with the a-holes. I don't have the time for them. I don't want to work with them, and I don't have to work with them.
Yeah.
So back to your question a little more. Why 3 to 5 too? I mean, I've seen a lot of people just find one cash buyer that's an absolute a-hole, that is a shark, that's not a good person, and they just put all of their faith in the world in this person because the beginner wholesaler, doesn't know how to build a relationship, doesn't know how to vet people, doesn't have any business experience. And so if you just find one, two, whether they're a good person or bad person, and they can't buy the deal, they have too many projects going on, they ran out of money, you're back at square one if you don't have any more cash buyers. So long-winded answer to 3 to 5 cash buyers. I could talk about that one answer probably for the next hour, but hopefully you can see the importance of 3 to 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Stopping there, and then you're good.
It's kind of like safe to say too that 3 to 5 is also good because say one of them is like, oh, I'm looking for houses that are a little bit larger, or I'm looking for houses in say San Marcos area only, and the one's like downtown, kind of a thing, exactly. So like you're kind of varying your list of people who will buy your wholesale deals because you're going to find different ones. You just are like I found like several different even different bathroom counts. That's such a simple thing that kind of compiles where it's like someone would be like, no, I'm actually looking for like 4 to 5, but at least you have a pool of people who are like specifically 2 to 3, and it's like a little bit easier. Yeah.
Yep. In short, you mitigate risk when you have 3 to 5.
Right.
And then additionally, right, a big beginner mistake is people think that, hey, like my specific little city is like all I'm going to flip houses in. And we flip houses in the whole entire county of San Diego and surrounding counties.
Right.
So you're going to find some cash buyers that buy in the whole county, multiple counties. I haven't really met any cash buyers that are serious that just buy in one little city. So by finding 3 to 5, you mitigate your risk because not only do you have a bigger buyer pool, you have that bigger geographic range of where you can wholesale deals. So what's that mean to you? You have more active properties you can go after and put under contract. What's that mean? You're probably going to have a higher success rate. Right? You have more chances to be at bat.
Awesome. Yeah. So before we kind of dive into actually talking to one, the right questions to ask, I'm in the boat right now where I have no cash buyers that I've talked to yet. So where are the places that you recommend I find a cash buyer?
Yeah, my favorite and easiest way, and that we've coined the Google Ninja trick. If anyone brings me a deal right now in 5 seconds, I need to find a potential cash buyer. We use our Google Ninja trick, which is where we basically type in the keywords that a motivated seller would type into Google. And what happens is there's sophisticated cash buyers that invest into their websites to organically rank in Google for these key terms. For example, if you type in, we buy houses Denver, right? We buy houses Denver, you do that, probably see a company called the Buyout Company, right? It's a company we've worked with. They've done over 1,000 real estate transactions. Right then and there, they're probably at the number 1, 2, or 3 spot. I can do that in 5 seconds and find that cash buyer in Denver, Colorado. Now, you can do that for all the cities across the U.S., all the states across the U.S., and I've told this to people before too, and they're like, Alex, these are all wholesalers on here. Sure, there's going to be some smart wholesalers that do this, but guess what? There's also freaking cash buyers on here too. And so when going to find cash buyers, it's important that everyone here has the right expectations that you're going to talk to people that are pretending to be cash buyers, fix and flippers, that are going to be wholesalers. And never in my right mind do I have the expectations I'm going to talk to 5 potential cash buyers and then have relationships with 5 potential cash buyers. That's silliness. That's like, hey, I'm going to approach 5 girls I'm interested in, and then all 5 of them are going to be my girlfriend. It's like, dude, where does that work? I mean, who are
never.
You, right? Yeah, never. It's never happened. So this Google Ninja trick. So we have a free resource on that, realestateskills.com/Google. Check that out. We got YouTube videos on it. Craigslist is another easy one as well. You can go to Craigslist and basically reverse engineer finding cash buyers that put out ads on Craigslist. And these are free methods too.
Right.
So there's paid methods, but I like sharing the free methods that are fast, easy, and simple. So you just select your city, your state, go to housing on Craigslist, type in we buy houses or buy houses for cash, and you find people advertising that do that. Now you can reach out to them. You can call them, text them, email them, and start there. Additionally, my favorite, sometimes it's free, sometimes it's $10-20. It's Real Estate Investor Association meetings. These are local meetings that happen all across the United States, like real estate investor meetups. You go there. You go to where real estate investors hang out, where cash buyers hang out in person. And what this does is it accelerates the rapport building process. You're maybe now at an event all about real estate investing with 30 people. And guess what? There might be a cash buyer, fix and flipper doing a case study in front of the room, talking about a deal they just did, profited $40,000. And they're saying, hey, anyone in the room has deals, bring me more deals. So now they've asked for your introduction to them. Now they're there talking about their business. They want to talk to you, a wholesaler that can bring them deals.
Right.
So, and so to find these associations, it's super simple. You can go to Google. You can type in Real Estate Investor Association meeting and then your city name. And then we have a whole list we've compiled before on our website at realstateskills.com/investor-associations. You can go there, check them out, get your start. But just those 3 strategies right there, free to maybe $10-15 for a meeting to be able to start finding cash buyers. And there's more, but the point of this video is how do we talk to them?
Right.
Right.
So one question, if your first time at a REIA, back in the day, what was the kind of energy there? What was the vibe? See, I'm kind of nervous to go because it's like I really have nothing under me, and to be there without any experience is very intimidating, to say the least.
Yeah.
So what did you experience at your first REIA?
Yeah.
Any advice for any beginners like going to their first REIA to meet cash buyers?
Yeah. So I believe my first REIA was the San Diego Creative Investor Association meeting. It was at off here in Mission Valley. And back in the day, I used to frequent all REIAs. There's 3 within like an hour and a half drive. So I'd go to all 3 of them every single month. What's the vibe like? Typically at a Real Estate Investors Association meeting, there's usually a speaker, maybe someone there talking about how to leverage your 401k for real estate investing, for example. Like a speaker sponsors the event, and they talk for 30 or 45 minutes. And maybe there's about 10, 15 minutes in the beginning. There's food, there's drinks. You can do some slight networking. Then the speaker speaks, and then more networking at the end. It's really networking focused. I was there looking to wholesale houses and looking to buy houses to fix and flip. So, and looking to network with cash buyers who I still have relationships with today that I've met at Real Estate Investor Association meetings. I've met some of my best friends at these meetings as well. Met real estate brokers, real estate agents. It's how one of the ways I got MLS access, assistant access, being a broker there at a Real Estate Investor Association meeting. Private money lenders at these meetings. So that specific one, there's usually about 40, 50 people there every single time.
Yeah.
And, I would just go around, shake hands, have my business cards, and start chatting up with people. And, not everyone there is a cash buyer. Obviously, it's people who are interested in real estate investing.
Yeah, but there will be one there pretty much 9 times out of 10, right?
If you're a fix and flipper any city or county and you want deals, there's wholesalers that go there. There's agents that go there that have deals. There's private money lenders, hard money lenders. There's escrow officers. There's title agents. There's real estate attorneys. All people that will benefit your business. Everyone's looking. People aren't going here just to dilly-dally. There actually are like hobbyists that go there and don't do anything, and negative Nancy's and Dole Dans that go to every single meeting and never do anything, for sure. And so if you talk to them, they're going to tell you they're going to talk to you about why real estate investing doesn't work. And I saw that at a very young age, 19, 20 years old. There's weird people out there that go there that aren't action takers, that don't do anything, and just go to every single meeting. Like, they're hobbyists. They don't do deals. And people telling me, hey, the things you're doing doesn't work. And then I'm profiting over $100,000 a month wholesaling and flipping houses. You learn at a young age that a lot of people don't know what they're talking about.
Right.
So that was pretty powerful for me. But the point is, not everyone's a cash buyer. And you're going to meet those types of weirdos at this event. Sometimes there's those weirdos. But there's the cream of the crop. Yeah. There's the cash buyers there. And, Brian I met from there. Troy I met from there. Guys that I've done a lot of deals with Nate I've met from there. Honestly, what you're doing is creating your own luck. You're putting yourself in a situation to win.
Right.
And most people aren't going to. Right now, there's going to be people that say, "Hey, I want to be a real estate wholesaler. I want to be a real estate investor." They're not going to go to these meetings, and a year's going to go by, and then they're going to be like, "Oh, real estate doesn't work," or or they may wonder why isn't this working? It's because they're not doing the things they need to do. They're not putting themselves in the environment to meet the people that they need to meet that are going to move their business forward.
Right.
So. That's where we can meet cash buyers as well.
Yeah. And to your point of like, I don't work with a-holes. It's like, that's like you're kind of like speed running, meeting these potential ones and like knowing right away just by first impressions and, how they speak, how they carry themselves of like what types of people you want to work with specifically.
Yeah.
Rather than like, trying to do the research, calling each one individually where it's like, no, that guy is asking for deals. Yes or no, do I want to work with them? Kind of like speed runs that process at these REIAs,
Yeah. That's a great point. Like, if you have any indication or gut feeling that you've honed over the years, when you meet someone in person, you look them in the eyes and you shake their hand and you have a conversation about life. You learn a lot about someone rather than a 10-minute phone call. So, and it's perfect you said that, because any cash buyer that you want to do business with, I hope you meet them in person. Hope you shake their hand. Hope you look them in the eye. Hope you grab a coffee with them. Hope you drive around some of their properties and check out some properties. Like, be together. Hang out together. They want deals to fix and flip. They want to make a profit on deals. You want to make a profit wholesaling them deals. You're on the same frickin' team here. You're on the same team. So the more you like each other, the better you communicate together, probably the more money you're both going to make. Like, that's a good business relationship. And I don't think a lot of people understand that. They're trying to shortcut this. They're trying to not talk to anyone. They're trying to do all this stuff virtually. And it's like, dude, some of the best business players in the frickin' world, hang out in person, meet in person, shake hands. Why do people play golf? So they can BS together, start to get to know each other, and do business.
Right.
So, if golf ain't your thing, what can you do? Let's go get some coffee and check out some properties. Right. And that's what I would do.
Yeah. So. Awesome. So say I'm at a REIA or I'm on the phone, whichever one I do first. But how do I go about kind of starting this conversation as a beginner wholesaler? How do I start the conversation with a cash buyer?
Yeah. So now we're diving into the script, right? So any conversation starter when talking to cash buyers, this is pretty boilerplate. I just say, hey, my name is Alex. I'm a real estate investor in the area. I actually wholesale property in San Diego, and I have access to properties below market value. Are you interested in doing business together by any chance? So, it's a very easy opener. Let's say I'm at that real estate investing meetup, and I say that. Cool. I've said I'm a real estate investor. I have properties for sale below market value. What does this cash buyer want? They want properties for sale below market value. So it's a very easy opener. And now they're not wondering, who the heck are you? I told them. And now this is exactly, I'm telling them exactly what they want,
right?
To start off the conversation. So the thing is, any script that we have, he goes through the script. I mean, it's very well organized. We've used it thousands of times. But understand the why behind it. It's not just about saying it. It's about, why are we saying this? So it's a very good opener. That's just how we always start with the conversation. And then from there, we start going into different questions.
Right, yeah. And I imagine that you've kind of tailored all of these questions throughout all of your experience throughout the years, right? So these are probably the most important ones that have been proven to work, that have been proven to kind of gather the most information and best information from the cash buyers that you can. And eventually, hopefully, work with them on a consistent basis, So I noticed that you say real estate investor in a specific area. Why don't I introduce myself as a wholesaler specifically?
Because a lot of people pigeonhole themselves into just being a wholesaler. And real estate investor has more, has a better meaning behind it.
Right.
There's a lot more. Being a real estate investor means you can invest in commercial real estate like we do, like multifamily like we do. It can mean you develop property like we do. It can mean you fix and flip property. It can also mean you wholesale property.
Right.
A lot of people that get introduced to wholesaling walk around and say, hey, I'm just a wholesaler. And what that does to the experienced person is basically saying you are completely new at this and you don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say I'm a real estate investor, there's just a lot more prestige behind it. There's a lot more conversation that can happen behind it. What are you investing in? You know, what types of properties are you looking for, right?
Yeah,
so
right.
There's a lot more there. And it's very important to know this too, because people shoot themselves in the foot even when dealing with real estate agents, right? We've wholesaled and flipped a lot of property with real estate agents. And so a lot of people call real estate agents and say, hey, I'm just a wholesaler. And if that agent knows what a wholesaler does and is, and understands that this person is not going to be the end buyer on a deal, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very good habit to start looking at yourself as a real estate investor and not just a wholesaler.
Right. I am a real estate investor, as you've told me.
Yeah, 100%. You got to believe in the thing before you actually become the thing, right? Like Kobe Bryant probably wanted to be in the NBA and believed he'd be in the NBA before he was in the frickin' NBA. And people talk about why mindset isn't important.
Yeah.
It's kind of a joke. So, yeah, that's why we started with a real estate investor. Because guess what? Do you think I partnered up with particular cash buyers on deals where we split fix and flip profits?
No.
I have.
Yes.
Do you think those fix and flip profits were more than my wholesale fees?
Yes.
Yeah. So what if I said, you know what, I'm just a wholesaler. I never ever want to split fix and flip profits. I don't want to develop deals together. I don't want to invest in your deals. I'm just a wholesaler. So you're opening up the door for yourself for future conversations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they
I've never wanted, just so you know, I never wanted to be just a wholesaler too. Maybe some people just want to be just a wholesaler, right? We invest into bigger deals now, hundreds of units, right? That's where my mindset's going.
Yeah.
So I've never been just a wholesaler, right? I like making active income through wholesaling and flipping, but I like making passive income through buying and holding.
That would definitely be the goal of mine,
100%.
Right, yeah.
So you got to you got to know where you want to go, right? Otherwise, you'll just be just a wholesaler for the rest of your life.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's about evolving. I think that's important.
Yeah. Very good advice. Thank you so much, as usual. Awesome. So I have the very thorough script in front of me.
Cool.
And, there's a lot of questions on here, a lot of explanations. So if we could just kind of dive into the script itself, each of the questions, why they're important, why you specifically put these in here and as to what to ask, right? So, if we could just start at question 1.
Yeah, so the opener I said is in there in the script that you can download. We have 13 questions that we go through. What's important to understand is that anytime I'm having a conversation like this cash buyer is a blank canvas, and these questions are meant to start painting in this canvas and get a clear picture of what they want to buy. Once again, so I can exactly bring them what they want. So I can be a professional that can take the server approach. What's going to happen? Why do this? Because I want the largest wholesale fees possible. I want to be the wholesaler that brings cash buyers deals that say, man, I can't wait till Alex gives me a freaking call because I know he's going to bring me exactly what I want.
Right.
Whereas 99% of other wholesalers are giving these cash buyers calls and they're rolling their freaking eyeballs because they're not taking the time of day to do what we're about to talk about here. So, all right, question number 1 is, what areas do you like to buy property in? All right. What we're trying to do is start to understand the zip codes, the neighborhoods, the cities that they want to buy property in. Very, very simple. Very easy question. This allows us, so if they say, hey, man, I don't want to buy in Golden Hill. Now you know, okay, they don't like buying Golden Hill. They say, hey, you know what? I love North Park. I love the North Park area. Bring me deals in North Park. I'll buy deals in North Park all day. I know I can now take a note and say, hey, this cash buyer, likes buying in North Park. And what other cities and what other zip codes? Now, generally, you're going to have cash buyers that may say, hey, I buy in the whole county except, East County, right? Jamul, El Cajon, I don't really like that area. Anything coastal, I really like. So it can be a broader and bigger range of where they like to buy. But we're just starting to paint that picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I was about to ask you, are there any cash buyers that you've come across where it's like, I buy all over the U.S. Doesn't matter as long as you bring me a good deal. Like, does that ever come across your plate usually when you talk to cash buyers?
No, I call it BS on that. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what I've seen in 12 years of doing this.
Yeah.
No one's buying deals in every single city and every single state across the United States. That's BS, and I would run for the hills.
Yeah.
Hedge funds we work with buying in territories, multiple states. But there's not one hedge fund buying in every single state and every single city.
Right.
Yeah. So run for the hills. And so hedge funds are big funds that raise private capital that buy a lot of deals. And I didn't work with those types of funds at first. I work with those funds today, as well as single cash buyers and also like companies, 20, 30 people that are buying deals, flipping companies. I just have to say, don't try and just go for the hedge funds. These are some of the most professional cash buyers that are out there. And if you're not armed with what we're talking about today or know what we're talking about today, you're going to look extremely silly, and they're definitely not going to give you the time of day. So that's why this is even more important.
Yeah.
So I've had to evolve to working with hedge funds. If that makes sense.
I'm already scared, so I'll stay away from that for now. Yeah,
they'll
definitely.
sniff you out. All right. So anything on that? That's pretty simple, right?
No, yeah, definitely.
It's simple. The next question is, what price ranges do you like to buy property in? Okay. So, all right, I know in Toledo, Ohio, you can buy properties under $150,000, right? So maybe I'm in Toledo, Ohio, in that county. And so if I have a cash buyer that says, hey, you know what, I'll buy basically any single family house under 150,000, 0 to 150,000, now I have a range. Now I know if I'm in Ohio, in that county, if I find a property that's $300,000, am I going to bring it to that cash buyer? No, I wouldn't. It's over $300,000.
Right.
I would not bring it to that cash buyer. They're saying, hey, I'll buy 0 to $150,000, and I find a deal at $300,000. I'm not going to bring it to that cash buyer because they don't want it. It'd be like me bringing the $40 bottle of wine to the person who says, hey, I want a $2 water bottle. They don't want it. You're going to look silly. They're not going to want to do business with you. So people do business with who they like and trust, right?
Yeah.
And then there's buyers here in San Diego County that will do $2, $3, $4, $5 million purchase prices of houses, but there's also some that will not buy over $1 million. So now we're starting to paint that picture of where does this cash buyer fit into. Now, through asking questions, right, this person may tell you, you know what, I just do high-end residential real estate, anything $2 to $5 million. That's what I do. And I do one every 6 months because that's about how long it takes me to renovate it.
Yeah.
So now these questions, right, we're starting to understand what's important. You take notes on this. Take notes on this and create a customer profile, cash buyer profile. So as you're building your cash buyer list, you now know exactly what they want, and you can bring them the exact deals that they want.
Right. Yeah. To play slight devil's advocate for you.
Yeah.
Say the price range, and we'll keep the numbers round, like 100, 200,000. You find a property for like 215. Is it? Yeah. And it's a good deal, you know. And it's like that's right around the range. Like it's slightly higher. At what point do you gauge? Oh my gosh, this might be too high, but I'm gonna bring it to him anyway, type thing, you know.
Yeah, good question. So if it's at 200,000, if they say my range is at 0 to 200,000, right? And the property is literally at 215,000, and I truly believe it's a good deal. When I talk to them and bring them a deal, I'll say, hey, Leonard, their name was Leonard. I know you told me your range is in 0 to 200,000, but I found a great deal that's right above that range. I think it'd still be a great deal for you. It fits all your other criteria. Would you be open to looking at it?
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So it's like okay to stay conscious of like what they first told you, because then they're like, okay, he's trying to find deals for me.
Exactly.
Even though it's a little bit higher, like it still might be worth it. Yeah. Yeah.
So I always say this thing: take the server approach. Like, I'm not the angle and aura I'm coming from is I don't want to waste their freaking time at all. I want to save them time and I want to make them money. So everything I'm communicating, how I communicate to them. Like, he can say, no, kick rocks. I told you 0 to 200,000. Fine. That's all good. I get it. That's what you told me. I'm bringing you something out of your criteria that you said you didn't want. So just use that when you go in the conversation. Don't pretend like the conversation never happened.
Right.
Because all this conversation that we're having is helping you. Remember, 99% of people aren't going to have these conversations that want to be wholesalers. So still use it to your advantage. Because, I mean, yes, I've had properties outside of my cash buyer's criteria that was slightly outside of it and bring it to them. And we talk about it. And guess what? I've been there and I've talked to the agent. Here's the story about it. And I still think it'd be a great deal. And you know what? You did a house 2 neighborhoods over. This neighborhood's a little bit different, but I think it'd still be a great deal. And then they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, use it to your advantage.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense.
Anything else to be a devil's advocate on this one?
No, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Cool. So the next question then is, what's your ideal property? And this is like a softball, but I just want to know, in a perfect world, if you could have 100 of these properties, what would it be? 9 times out of 10, right? In my experience, or what I want, right? I want a 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,200 square foot home that needs mild cosmetic work, anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000. Those are, in my history of flipping, those are the best singles, doubles, triples, and home runs. They're consistent, they're controllable. And so when you ask this question, what's your ideal property, right? This is where someone may say, hey, you know what? I love 2-bed, 1-baths that I can add square footage to, right? They could say, hey, in my area, my county, this is my game. I add square footage to property. So even small 3-1s, small 3-2s that I can add square footage to, make it bigger, because guess what? My cost to build is very low. I've been working with my contractors and developers for a long time. That's where I make my money. So they can tell you the exact ideal property that they want. So, and it's just another good question just to start to understand more, paint that picture. Mm-hmm. What the heck do they want, right? What types of properties do they want? Anything else on that?
No.
Okay, cool. And then, so that was your ideal property, right? We honed in. The next question is, what types of properties are you looking to purchase? Mm-hmm. So this is where I always, if we're starting out wholesaling, there's people that try and wholesale houses and wholesale condos and wholesale duplexes and multifamily and apartment buildings and office buildings and land and mobile homes and then mobile home parks. You're focusing on 20 different types of products. You're not becoming a master of any of them. And that's where a lot of people get lost and stuck. So when we're talking about cash buyers and wholesaling, I'm trying to wholesale houses. So keep that in mind. But when I ask this question, what types of properties are you looking to purchase? I'm trying to see, are they buying condos as well, condominiums? Are they looking to buy the 10-unit apartment buildings? What types of properties? That's the point of this question, just so I understand. Because some people don't flip condos, some people do, and a lot of times, we've wholesaled condos. I haven't flipped a condo, but a lot of times they can be very easy to comp. They can be great deals, and with the right buyer, that can be great. So it can open up another avenue for you to wholesale deals, like another type of property. Mm-hmm. So this is just another good question. And you just take a note of this, right? So now you start to know and you're starting to learn more about them.
Right. Mm-hmm. So at this point, it's like, okay, you found the area, the price range, the types of properties that are ideal for them, and then, specifically what types those are, which is, pretty robust and there's information, right? So,
yeah. And this is where people go wrong, is they just assume every cash buyer is the same. Mm-hmm. Everyone's freaking different. Yeah. Right. And if you don't take the time to do this and you just assume they're the same, you're never ever going to listen to the person because you never talk to them. So you're going to meet people that are going to be cash buyers, but they only buy office buildings. Right. Mm-hmm. And if you're starting to wholesale real estate, you want to wholesale houses, that might be hey, nice to meet you right now, but we're probably not going to be doing business together because I'm focused on houses. So this conversation allows you to have an appropriate conversation with anyone depending on what type of real estate they do. Mm-hmm. That makes sense?
Yeah, makes total sense. Yeah, thank you.
Cool. All right. Next question. What type of work are you looking to do to the properties? So are they only looking to do cosmetic jobs? Do they want to do full gut renovations? Can they take on the cracked slabs? Do they want to do new development? Meaning scrape the whole entire house and then rebuild? Is that what they're looking to do? Mm-hmm. Or build up on land? Do they just want to add square footage to the property? All right. And this is where, some people watch a HGTV show and think they can handle $200,000 renovation and get in and out of this business. And there's some people that are going to be truthful and say, you know what, I need a minor cosmetic renovation, and I need something that's going to be $40,000 max of renovation. So this type of work question is basically what type of work are you willing to do to the property?
Right.
You know, because if you bring a property that needs $150,000 of renovation to the person that tells you, I'm only doing minor cosmetic stuff, just lipstick, then it's not a good fit.
Right.
Now you're not bringing them a deal. And now you know how to approach that conversation. Hey, I know this needs more work. I know you mentioned that you only wanted to do light work, but I think it's going to be a good deal.
Yeah.
Take the server approach. All right.
Yeah. Makes a lot of sense.
Cool. All right. Next question is, what's your minimum profit or ROI you need on this deal? All right. This is an important one because once again, a lot of beginner wholesalers just assume that they somehow know what this cash buyer is looking for on a deal. They use paper, napkin, math, formulas they found online in a forum or from a YouTube video to say, this cash buyer wants this. But at the end of the day, everyone calculates their numbers a little bit different, and the most sophisticated cash buyers I work with don't use any frickin' formulas to compute their numbers. They're using spreadsheets, they're using Excel to underwrite deals. So, and here's another thing, right? So it's appropriate to ask this question, what's your minimum profit or ROI? If they say 15% ROI on a deal, great. How do you calculate that? Ask that question because everyone calculates it different. They could say, oh, what I mean by that is from the purchase price, if I put $100,000, I want 15% of my purchase price, I want $15,000. They could say, oh, if I do $300,000 all in with the renovation, all the other costs, I want 15%. It's a $45,000 profit that I want in the deal. So you ask them, when we ask about the ROI, how do you calculate that? Don't assume. And this is where people get afraid. They pucker up a little bit because they this cash buyer, they're like, oh, this cash buyer is sophisticated. He said, oh, he wants a 7% ROI, and you have no idea what it means, and you're just like, okay, cool. And it doesn't get you anywhere.
Right.
So know that even me, today, right now, I talked to a cash buyer. I asked, what type of ROI you're looking for. They'll tell me something. I say, how do you calculate that? And you can take it even further. This is how you be a pro wholesaler. Say, great, do you have any spreadsheets that you use, Excel spreadsheets or calculators? That way I can plug in all the numbers that I see on the deal, and then that way I can see if it's a great deal for you and fits your minimum profit and also the ROI you're looking for. That way you don't have to plug it in at all and save you some time. So there's a lot of cash buyers. I have their calculators. I plug numbers into their calculators, verify that it works. Guess what? Send them the deal with the calculator filled out. Now are we seeing eye to eye? Now am I bringing the exact properties that they want?
Yeah.
Yes. So that's another ninja trick right there that a lot of people don't do.
A lot more leverage too than somebody just using like a simple formula.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, 100%. Tons more leverage. And just what we've seen, and we've talked about before, but like people using a 70% MAO formula to calculate where they can offer on a deal versus a sophisticated cash buyer's deal calculator.
Yeah.
The deal calculator is going to be a higher offer price than the MAO formula, and that's why a lot of wholesalers are suffering and quitting because they're not using deal calculators. So what this allows you to do, most importantly, is when you calculate the profit as a wholesaler, which if you're a professional wholesaler, you should be able to calculate the fix and flip profit. If they say, hey, my minimum profit that I need on a deal is $30,000 and you're looking at this thing and it's $10,000, I want to bring it to them, right? You're going to look silly. They're going to be like, Tim, I told you I only want $30,000 of profit. I'm not going to spend 120 days flipping this property to make $10,000.
Right.
Right? So a lot of people do that. A lot of wholesalers do that.
Yeah, definitely. Thankfully, Ryan's taught me a lot about using the calculator.
There we go.
realestateschools.com/calculator, guys. It's amazing. It's really helped me a lot. So thank you so much.
You got it, man. All right, next question. Are there any types of properties or areas that you do not like to purchase property in? So if they haven't told me this yet, this is a great one, just so it's like, what's on the excluded list?
Yeah.
Right? Because generally there can be really bad areas, and if they're fixing and flipping a lot of houses, there's just some fix and flippers that have had bad luck in areas, and they're not going to do another deal there. Because maybe they've done a few deals there that have all lost money. Or sometimes this happened when I fixed and flipped houses. The houses kept getting copper stolen out of them and bathtubs stolen out of them. So you're doing a service by asking them, hey, are there any areas that you're not looking to buy in? And then you're just not going to bring those properties to them.
Right.
Just pretty simple, right?
Yeah. Because, they could have overlooked it too, where it's like I buy properties in San Diego, but oh my gosh, stay away from Main Street.
Yeah.
please, because of XYZ, kind of a thing.
Yeah, 100%. Like in San Diego, for example, there's a lot of cash buyers that aren't going to buy like super far in East County in the rural areas.
Mm-hmm. Next to an airport, maybe, or something like that.
Yeah, next to an airport, very rural. I mean, a lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're going to find cash buyers that won't buy in rural areas.
Yeah.
Like 3 acres of land on it, and there's no comps. The other thing, too, is as you're asking these questions and you start having these conversations with cash buyers, too, you're going to see what the sophisticated cash buyers say and what the unsophisticated ones don't. Unsophisticated ones generally say, I buy anywhere and everywhere. Oh, cool. Out in the boonies with no comps?
Yeah.
I buy anything. So generally those people don't know what they're talking about, haven't done deals. As you start to develop a sense for cash buyers, you're going to understand those people probably aren't worth their salt and probably aren't going to pay you anything in wholesale fees because they're not going to buy any deals. Cool. So next question. How many projects are you currently working on at the moment? All right, so this is a good one. This is another one to sniff them out, right? Are they doing 0 deals? That's kind of a red flag, right? If you're a serious fix and flipper, you
should be at least be doing 1 right now. Yeah,
at least, right? You're gonna meet people that do 100 deals a year. They're like, oh man, dude, I got 5 deals under contract right now. I have 5 under renovation right now, and 5 listed on the market. That's starting. Now you're starting to understand, gauge, like, oh, this person is serious. This cash buyer is serious.
Mm-hmm.
That's the point of this question. Because once again, like we're seeing in the comments, people saying, oh, like these cash buyers like aren't serious, and they've never talked to them.
Right.
And then they bring them a deal, and they've never talked to the cash buyer. And if you ask this question, you could have sniffed that out in a 10, 15-minute conversation, as opposed to working your butt off, getting a deal under contract, thinking they're a cash buyer, and now they're not, and now you have to cancel the contract and you leave $10,000, $20,000 on the table.
Kind of my biggest fear as a beginner is coming across that, but I feel like with this thorough of, I guess, an interview, you could say, an interview
100%.
with the cash buyer itself, then you can easily check that off the list of like, okay, well, that's not somebody who's going to be 100%, even 90% reliable,
Yep.
So the more deals, I guess, they're working on currently, the more reliable theoretically they would be.
Theoretically, the more experience they have,
Yeah.
the quicker they make decisions. If they have 5 deals under renovation right now, 5 on the market, sophisticated cash buyers know good deals go quick. They're going to get back to you in time. Unsophisticated cash buyers have never done a deal before. They don't understand that good deals go quick. Oh yeah, I'll get back to you, and they go radio silent. All those things. So, yeah, you said that's your biggest fear. All of this can be mitigated with probably like an hour of conversations for 5 days, and then you're good to go.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Which kind of leads into the next question of how many projects have you completed, right? Not only working on, but in total, it's like how long have they been working?
Yeah.
Would you say that question is?
Yeah, exactly. Right. We've worked with companies that have done well over 1,000 deals, 500, 150. You start to gauge their experience, where they are in the process, and if you've done 50 deals, you generally know you have a good experience level. This is just another sniffing out question for sure. Because now let's say we're talking and you met at a REIA and they're like, oh yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. Oh great. How many projects have you done so far? 3. Like, oh, 3 deals in 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's going on? How do you run your business? So, right. I'm not looking for hobbyists, right? We're professionals when we wholesale. We're professional wholesalers. We want people that have actually done deals. The important thing is, if they've done a lot of deals, their numbers are down to a T. They have their contractor crews ready to operate as soon as they buy a property. They maybe have project managers where you call them and say, hey, I have a deal. I can get out to the property in 1 hour. They tell you that. That's how fast we need to move on these deals. That's how fast sophisticated cash buyers go. If you're not having those conversations with cash buyers, you got to talk to more cash buyers where you are having those conversations with them. So just a sniffing out question. Remember, I talked about quality. This is about determining quality with this question.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I just want to make sure they have some experience. Even, hey, I've only done 2 fix and flips. That's not a lot. Generally, the best cash buyers have been doing this for several years, the very, very least. Doing a couple dozen properties at least a year. They know what they're doing. They're serious about this, and they're not doing this part-time. They're doing this full-time. It's a full-time thing.
Right.
Yeah. All right, next question. This is just a fun one. If I bring you 3 great deals in the next month, will you be able to purchase them all? Another sniffing out question, right? I want to see what they say. Do they squeal in their boots? Do they look at me confidently and say, yeah, I can buy all 3 of them. No problem. Do they say, you know what? I got a lot of deals going on. I can probably buy 1 a month from you consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Do they say, you know what? I can buy 10 deals this next month. Yeah. So this question is just gauging quality now. And the point of this script, the way I open this up is these questions, it really started from like very wide. Where do you like to buy property?
Yeah.
To now, hey, if I brought you three properties now in the next month, would you be able to buy them all?
Mm-hmm.
That fit your criteria, that are exactly what you want. I want to see if they're worth their salt, right? And they may say, hey, no, I don't have the capital for that. And then I'd be like, oh, okay. Like that's another red flag, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Any serious fix and flipper has access to all the capital. You work with some hard money lenders and private money lenders if they're serious at this.
Mm-hmm.
So if they say, I don't have the capital for that, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Any fix and flipper that's solely doing this with their own personal cash, the best fix and flippers leverage other people's money to be able to buy these properties.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also a red flag that you should look at of, oh, you know what, I only have enough cash to do 1 deal every 12 months. It's like, oh, why don't you lever private money lenders and hard money lenders if you know what you're doing?
And at that point, it's like, move on.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
Better ones. There's better ones, yeah. Cool, next cue. Okay, how many properties are you looking to purchase in the next 6 months? All right, so I'm asking this from the perspective of I want to know this cash buyer's business goals. And I want to be a conduit to them hitting their goals. What do you want to do in the next 6 months? And I'm future pacing. I want to see what they say, right? Is it 1 deal? Do they say, I want to do 30 deals in the next 6 months? Hey, I want to grow. I really want to grow my business, man. Like, I'm serious about this. Mm-hmm. Let's get rocking and rolling. It's just gauging business interest, gauging where they want to go. I mean, they say in the next 6 months, I'm actually moving 5 states over. I'm not going to be here. Okay, so you're going to invest a lot of time with this person who's not going to be here, who's closing down shop. So this is just a really good one. Anyone you invest time with and you want to build a mutually beneficial business relationship, you should start to understand your goals and where you want to take this thing.
Right.
So this is just this type of question. Like say 18, 24, 50. I'm looking for a high number. I'm not in here. I haven't been doing this for 30 days, been doing this for 12 years. So I'm looking for someone that wants to do a lot of deals and that's committed. Mm-hmm. Great. So nailed that one. Now question 12 is, what's your financing source for these deals? Right, we started to talk about this a little bit, but is it cash on hand? Are you using hard money, private money? Do you have JV partners? And what I'm doing with this question is just really starting to gauge, are they a serious buyer or not, right? I want a cash buyer that's probably going to say, hey, I have cash on hand, hard money lender relationships that I've been working with for years. I have private money lender relationships. Hey, I have a $2 million line of credit from my private bank. That's what I want to hear. Mm-hmm. I want to hear they have access to capital from multiple lenders because the best cash buyers do. If someone can't give you a solid response, right? They stutter. Or they're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If they're like, Grandma Jane's got, $50,000 in her bank account I'm going to use. Those are red flags. Mm-hmm. This is geared for the beginner that has absolutely no idea about wholesaling.
Right.
I'm providing a lot of context on here. Once you know what you're doing, you can start to pinpoint this and figure this out. But I'm sure I'm saying a lot of things that people haven't even thought about that, they may have stumped you. This cash buyer may have stumped you on where they want to take their property in 6 months, but you now bring up this question and they don't even know where they can get capital at.
Right.
That's a huge red flag.
Yeah.
Right? If someone's telling you, hey, I'm doing 5 deals a month, and the median price point in your area is $500,000, that's $2.5 million of cash they need every single month. They have to have multiple lending sources. And if you ask this question, they don't have access to a couple mil every single month, then they're probably lying through their teeth.
Yeah.
Cool.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So make sure that they actually have the funding to get these deals, otherwise dead in the water type of thing.
Yeah, then your biggest fear happens.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah. That you have a deal and you have to it should be your biggest fear because of you have a deal and you have to cancel it because you did a poor job finding cash buyers, that's an appropriate fear because you left a lot of money on the table. But you shouldn't be fearful of canceling a contract.
I'm sure contracts get canceled all the time, right?
Yeah, the best cash buyers cancel the most
reason.
contracts. Yeah. You can't be fearful of that. That happens.
Yeah.
But you got to do everything in your when you don't talk to cash buyers and you could have had a few 15-minute conversations with cash buyers to make $10,000. That should be a real fear because you've tried to shortcut something that if you're watching this video, I'm talking to you now, you know it's the right thing that you need to do and explaining all this context for it. That should be your biggest fear of doing what you know or not doing what you should be doing, right? Yeah, not doing that.
Yeah.
So, all right, next question. How quickly, and this is the last one, how quickly can you close on a great deal that I bring you that fits your buying criteria, right? So 1 day, within a week, 2 weeks, within a month, over a month. We're dealing with fix and flippers. When we, as wholesalers too, when we submit offers, our closing timeframes are typically within 14 days or sooner.
Right.
So I need someone to say
14 days or sooner.
14 days.
Yeah.
You're fast learning, man. And sophisticated cash buyers, like if you ask this question, they're like, oh, they'll probably be like, I'll close in a day or two if I need to. Of course, like I don't like doing that. No one likes having to close in 24 hours and make a $500,000 decision in 24 hours. But I've been there. You know, a lot of my cash buyers have been there too. So everyone likes, 2 weeks, 10 days to be able to close a deal because we can bet our numbers. But this is another question to determine the quality of your cash buyer. They say, you know what, I need a month. Hugest, big red flag. It's like, what? Are you getting a conventional mortgage? What do you do? Do you even know how to get money from a hard money lender that can close in 7 days or 3 days?
Yeah.
So these are the questions that we're asking. Once again, vetting. So as we've gone through these questions, right, I not only started to understand their buying criteria, understand exactly where they want to buy, but I did the back end part of vetting. Right? A lot of people ask me, Alex, how do I know if this is a serious cash buyer or not? What we just talked about the whole entire time. You ask these questions, you understand the context behind these questions, why you should ask these questions, and then you actually ask these questions, and you actually do it. That's how you mitigate risk. This is how you close deals. This is how you move deals forward. This is how you actually become a professional that people want to work with, because people work with who they like and trust, and people like working with competent people. I don't like working with incompetent people. You know that.
Yeah.
Right? So I like people that have the ability to learn. I like the people that I can have a conversation with, and we can talk about something. You say, hey, Alex, what do you want or need? And I tell you that, and then you bring me something completely different. I'd be PO'd. I'd be mad.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, what the heck, Tim? What's going on? It's the same exact thing here. People trying to start wholesaling real estate that either have these conversations and then don't bring the cash buyers what they want, or not even having these conversations at all. You're never, ever going to know exactly what this cash buyer wants. And, I have a lot of passion on this because this is the thing. Talking to cash buyers was how I got my start. Wholesaling was how I got my start. This is what changed my life. This is what changed a lot of our students' lives. This is a lot of people's introduction to real estate. So, I can be the cheerleader. I'm a cheerleader a lot of the times, but I need to be a drill sergeant on this because so many people skip this step.
Yeah.
So many people skip this step. And it's because they're shooting themselves in the foot when they know they need to do this thing. They know they need to talk to cash buyers. They know they need to get out of their comfort zone. Even like you, right? Started to find deals, and you don't even know what your cash buyers. You don't even have a cash buyer.
Yeah.
So this is why these questions are so important.
I just gotta, it's beginners like me. I think we all tend to get really excited, but to mitigate the risk of wasting our time, wasting other people's time too, wasting a potential cash buyer's time. These questions they have to be said. They have to be done first before anything.
Yeah, you're making your life easier. You're giving yourself the ability to make more money from doing this. You're making your cash buyer's life easier. If you have a family, you're taking care of your family doing this. You're making your family's life easier because you're asking these questions.
Right.
So we had the opener, right, which is in the script. We have 13 questions, valuable questions. And, of course, as we're on this conversation, In the script too, we provide all the context on these questions too. I know we talked a lot about them, and you know me, I'm a big context guy.
Yes.
Right? There's a lot packed behind these questions, and I'd be doing a disservice if we didn't go into every detail as much as possible. But now, this conversation you can have this in person. You can have this at coffee with a cash buyer. You can have this over the phone too, right? You're using the Google Ninja trick. You're finding cash buyers. You can have this over the phone. So when you need to end the conversation, here's how you can end it. You can say, so when I reach out to you, when I have a great deal that fits your buying criteria, can you please just respond back to me as promptly as you can, just because these deals go quickly within a day or two. So I don't want you to miss out on a great deal. Does that sound good? They'll probably say, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you for your time. It was great meeting you, and I look forward to doing business with you soon. All right, so I'm just ending the conversation, reaffirming that the purpose of this conversation was so I can bring you a great deal that fits your criteria, and assuring them the next time when I reach out to you, it's going to be a deal that fits your criteria. That is music to their ears.
Right.
9 out of 10 people aren't going to say that. And then I'm asking them to respond promptly and getting them to affirm and say yes within a day or two at the very latest. Right? This isn't a game here. I don't want to wait 30 days to hear back from someone. So it's a great way to end the conversation. We've been upfront. We've been honest about what we're doing. We've introduced ourselves as a real estate investor. We've let the cash buyer know we want to bring them deals. We now know exactly where they want to buy, what properties they want to buy, the price points, what types of development they're doing, if they're doing development, their price ranges, and we've sniffed them out to know if they're pretty serious or not.
Yeah, covered all the bases. So for my own sake, and since I have you here, and the opportunity is obviously very valuable, would you mind kind of running through a cash buyer call with me?
Tim's twisting my arm here, guys. Tim's twisting my arm. Yeah, so I'll be the cash buyer, and let's do a practice.
Oh man, I'm nervous.
Live.
Yeah, cool. Live practice, guys. Okay.
So you got the script?
Got the script in front of me.
Okay.
Okay, let's go through my first mock cash buyer call. So, ring ring.
Hey, this is Alex with ABC Homes.
Hi, Alex. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
Good. My name is Tim. I'm a real estate investor in the area, specifically San Diego. I have access to properties for sale below market value. Would you be open to maybe doing business together by chance?
Yeah, I mean, we're buying properties every single month here in San Diego. Of course, that sounds pretty good. What do you got?
Awesome. Well, first off, what areas do you typically buy a property in?
Oh, yeah. So we are buying all over the county. We do not like going into East County, the boonies. We've been doing this for a while, right? I'm not going to buy properties that have 3 acres of land on it and a whole entire ranch. I'm not looking for that. Right? I'm looking to buy more so mid county, north county, and then also west coastal, but not too close to the coast, because a lot of times the permitting for that can take about a year or two sometimes. So depends how close to the coast.
Got it. Yeah, of course. That makes total sense. Well,
Yeah.
What kind of price ranges were you looking to buy property?
Yeah, so we generally will go up to 2 million max, like that range. But we'll look at pretty much anything you send over, but know that anything in the multi-millions, I mean, we're going to look at it with a fine-tooth comb. We don't do a lot of those, probably a handful a year. But we work more on houses that are under $1 million. That's generally our price point in the county.
Is there like a kind of an ideal type of property that you're looking for then, if you're in that price range?
Yeah, what do you mean by that?
Like 2-bed, 2-bath,
Yeah.
maybe even higher than that if you're going in the millions.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've been doing this for a while. Like our bread and butter, if I want to, make sure we have a great deal, it's always going to be 3-bed, 2 baths. The American dream is to buy a home. And when people are starting a family and they're married and they're about to have a kid or they have a kid, they're looking to buy a 3-bed, 2-bath house.
Right.
There's a lot of buyers for those properties. I love selling those properties. They sell like hotcakes. So 3-bed, 2 baths, generally 1,200 square feet plus or minus 200 square feet from that.
Got it.
All day.
What type of work are you looking to do on these properties?
Yeah, so in San Diego, right, there's accessory dwelling units. So we'll build ADUs in the backyard. We'll add square footage to property if we need to. We'll do minor cosmetic work, major renovation work. We've been doing this for a while, so we can fix cracked slabs. We can really do any type of work that's needed to a property. We did a house right over here in the hills. We had to put in, a lot of work, get a lot of soil tests out there, put in a retaining wall. That was a $250,000 renovation, so nothing really scares us. We're just going to be pickier when a house needs more renovation, just like how anyone who's smart at this game would be.
Right. Yeah, definitely. So is there kind of a minimum ROI that you're looking to get on a deal?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we're always looking for at least, with single family homes, right? If we're dealing with under $1 million, general rule of thumb for you is whatever we put in the renovation, we're looking to get out. So if I'm putting $40,000 in the renovation, I want $40,000 out of it. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you, anything over $1 million, we're looking for at least $100,000 of profit on that deal. It's not going to be worth my time. It's not going to be worth the risk to do anything with lower than $100,000 of profit if we're going over $1 million.
Right. Mm-hmm. So are there any types of properties or areas that you don't like?
Yeah, so very far into East County. Hamul, don't like the area. I've had some bad deals there. Anything east of El Cajon, I don't want to touch. It's too far. Starts to get rural, starts to get unique. Don't want to deal with it. So don't bring me anything east of there. Anything else, like I said, coastal, North County, south, going all the way to frickin' Tijuana, right? I'll look at it. San Ysidro, everything.
How many projects are you currently working on then?
Right now, 12.
Wow.
Yeah, we got a few we're buying right now under contract, a handful we're working on, and then several on the market.
That's
right
really
now.
good to know. Wow. How many projects have you completed?
About 150. Yeah.
No, that's great. And yeah, congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 2 years.
Wow. 2 years only as well.
I've been rocking and rolling.
So if I was able to kind of bring you a deal, would you be able to kind of purchase it within 3 months? I said that wrong.
Oh, of course. Of course I can buy it within 3 months, Tim.
Will you be able to purchase 3 deals within 3 months if I brought them to you?
3 deals in 3 months? Yeah. I can do 3 deals in the next month.
How many are you looking to purchase within the next, say, 6 months?
Yeah. Our current pace, next 6 months, at least 5 a month. That's what we're always shooting for.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
5 deals a month.
A lot of volume then.
Yeah.
What is your current financing situation for your deals?
Yeah, we use a combination of hard money, private money, a little bit of cash on hand.
And if I were to bring you a deal tomorrow, how quickly could you close?
You know me, same day, next day, pretty quick. Whatever we got to do to make it work. I like deals.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for your time, Alex. Again, my name is Tim. You can reach me at this number or XYZ email. I'll be sure to give you any of the deals within your criteria once it comes across my plate. But thank you so much for your time, and hope to talk to you soon.
There we go.
Oh, my God.
Look it. You can do it.
Oh, my God.
Hey, high five, man. That was live. Never been practiced. Okay, so it shows the importance of role play.
It really does, honestly. Like, it's one thing kind of reading them to yourself, but then, kind of saying them out loud. Even the simple responses that you gave me, just being ready for that and able to kind of adjust it on the fly and not have too many surprises on the first one, I think was really, really helpful. So thank you so much. That was awesome.
Yeah, I kind of just softballed it a little bit. The point there, you kind of rifled through them, but you can practice this with anyone on your team. You can practice this with a friend. I think this is so natural to me now, and I could tell as you're going through it wasn't natural.
No, not at
all. You're getting nervous in a practice session. So, practice. There's going to be some cash buyers that talk the way that I just did, and it's very, very simple. I would encourage anyone to listen to that. Try to make a little more conversation. A little bit more. It was pretty good. You rifled it off. A good book I would recommend is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think have you ever read that?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. You got to read it.
Yeah.
Seems like you read it. I assumed you read it. By Dale Carnegie. So that's a great book if you're not great at talking to people yet and just want to read a book about conversations. That book it's changed a lot of people's lives, and it can really help you out in assistance with our cash buyer script as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. That was really nerve-wracking, but I feel just so much better. And ready to talk to a cash buyer, especially with the script on hand. Thank you. I can't thank you enough always.
Yeah, that was fun. And so hopefully if you tuned in today, you enjoyed this type of format that we did. Really want to bring a conversational tone to how to talk to cash buyers. It's just so vital that you do this. It's so vital that you do this as a wholesaler and you do this first. I just see too many people getting stuck because they're finding the deals first. They're not talking to cash buyers. And this is not something, finding and talking to cash buyers, this conversation can happen in 10 minutes, 15 minutes. It's going to make you more money.
Yeah.
Like, does it make sense to you? Do you understand what I'm saying when I tell you that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you find out exactly what they want, and then you bring them exactly what they want.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't that work?
Mm-hmm.
Who in their right mind would be unhappy if you brought them exactly what they wanted and they told you that?
Nobody.
How happy is a kid when he makes a Christmas list
and
then he gets everything on it?
Yeah.
He's pretty stoked.
Very, very happy, yeah.
How unhappy would that kid be if he didn't get anything on that Christmas list?
It's actually the worst.
Yeah,
I've seen
exactly.
it firsthand, yeah.
So same darn thing. Darn thing.
Well, I'm glad you brought up kind of the server aspect, because I come from humble beginnings. I was a waiter for 10 years of my life, from high school, even after college I was.
Yeah.
And I've seen every type of person under the sun, and boy, are they very upset when they ask for, a California roll and you don't bring them one. But boy, are they happy when it's a California roll and some very, good recommendation as well. Sometimes maybe off the menu, but you're basically, I know what they like.
Yeah.
And I know, even though some things might not be the exact thing that they want, they still might really like it, which I found. Yeah. So thank you for that.
You got it. And when you bring them exactly what they want and you have good service, you get a pretty big tip, probably.
It paid the bills for sure. Yes.
Yeah. So, I love our sushi comparison to wholesaling real estate. You bring your cash buyer exactly what they want and you have great service, you'll get a pretty big wholesale fee.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's the goal.
All right. Well, hey, let's wrap it on that. Be sure to grab our cash buyer script. You definitely do not want to miss this. So this is how to talk to cash buyers, get them ecstatic to pay you for your wholesale deals. Our goal is $10,000 minimum per deal. These are the types of cash buyers you're going to find. These are the types of cash buyers you're going to vet. This is absolutely vital to your wholesaling business. If you want to be taken seriously as a professional, someone that can grow with these cash buyers, grow with their businesses. I just gave you all the questions that we've been honing for 12 years. We've had tons and tons of phone calls going through these questions. Our clients use these questions. Now you can use these questions as well to vet these cash buyers and to close more wholesale deals. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you know anyone that would like this video, please share it with them. Please like the video. Please comment below if you have any questions. If you've seen any of our videos, we love to try and reply to everyone. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.